folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. How are you today on this? What is this? Jeez, man. Days come and go, man. It's the 24th of August, 2017. How are you? Yeah. You good so far? Yeah, I always tell people, hey, you know, when I put my feet on the floor in the morning and I stand up, I'm good. I'm very grateful to be alive. Thank you very much. Just lots of stuff. I want to apologize for not having a podcast yesterday. Just so much going on. You know, every once in a while, you just got to, step back. You just got to, take a little breather. That's all, There's so much going on that you just have to take time to look at it all and examine the things that you've looked at before and say, let's see. And that's what it is. And that's what it was yesterday. I just had to, take a little break. Just take a little time, sit back, relax, enjoy. And there's a lot of things going on today on the 24th of August. It's being reported by Paul Joseph Watson of Infowars.com on the 24th of August, 2017. General Kelly blocks Trump from reading Infowars stories. Chief of Staff imposes lockdown on flow of information. That's not good for a president. I'm just going to preface what I'm about to read with that. That's not good for the president. White House Chief of Staff General John Kelly has instituted a new system to control the flow of information that means President Trump will not be handed stories from Infowars or other non-mainstream outlets. Not good, folks. Quote, the new system, laid out in two memos co-authored by Kelly and Porter and distributed to cabinet members and White House staffers in recent days, is designed to ensure that the president won't see any external policy documents, internal policy memos, agency reports, or even news articles that haven't been vetted, unquote, reports Politico. According to Axios, says Jonathan Swan, the change means that Trump will no longer be handed Infowars stories. This confirms what Jack Posobiec reported weeks ago. Jack Posobiec reported weeks ago when he was told by the White House sources that Janet Toner, a member of the Presidential Personnel Office, was threatening White House interns that if they shared content from Infowars on social media, they would be fired. The news will undoubtedly bolster complaints emanating from Trump's base that he has been isolated and surrounded by globalists who have no interest in furthering Trump's America First message. Trump has cited Infowars stories on numerous occasions, both on Twitter and during his public speeches, enraging many of the mainstream media and the left. There you go, folks. I was looking at something the other day. And I thought to myself, it's gonna come a time when the gang, the members of the swamp that President Trump said he was going to drain, the gang was going to surround Trump and stop him from doing what he's doing. Okay? And this is the start of it. This is the start of it. I'm not even kidding with you. I read the whole article. It's on American Liberty Radio podcast. There it is. I'm telling you right now, period. I'm just telling you right now. There are two things that you have to be concerned with. Number one, you have to understand what the game is According to, I'm going to make a little noise here, sorry. According to the globalists, okay? That's me changing some things on my microphone here. Look at the game plan that has been laid out by the globalists. Look at that. And when I say globalist, I'm talking corporate media, I'm talking New York Stock Exchange, I'm talking all these folks that influence politics on a daily basis. Look at the game plan of the globalists. Okay? And honestly, do not take them for granted. Don't sit there and say, well, they can't do this because there's laws. They circumvent the laws. They wrote the laws. They know what they can get away with and what they can't get away with. They understand this. They know this. They have the ability to look into their globalist crystal ball and look at the dark heart of these members that control them and say, oh, our bosses want us to do this, and so we'll do this. In other words, the freedom of press and the freedom of speech is not being supported by the globalists because they want that completely shut down. And they're doing it when they're not giving the president everything he wants, that he is needing to make the right decisions to move this country forward. And if his chief of staff is telling him that he's not going to get any more articles from non-mainstream media, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And General John Kelly needs to be fired immediately. Let's put the word out today, right now on the 24th of August, 2017. General John Kelly needs to be fired immediately. The Joint Chiefs of Staff, the military leaders, need to go into General John Kelly and tell him, sir, we are now pulling you. We are now taking you from this position. You are no longer the Chief of Staff. Now, how can that be when he's, is he still a commissioned general? Is he still part of the military? You need someone higher than him to say, you will stand down. The president will get all the information from every outlet, and you have no right to stop him from getting the information he wants. I challenge each and every single one of you in Washington, D.C., or even anywhere near there, like Hedgeville, or anywhere near Washington, D.C., to go into Washington, D.C. today and to demand that General John Kelly, the Chief of Staff of the White House, be fired immediately. Because the president needs the information from every outlet, from every aspect, to make the right decisions to move this country forward. And if he does not have that, then there's something wrong within his cabinet. I want you to send me pictures. I want you to send me information. I want you people to go there now. I'm talking specifically those people around Washington, D.C. that hear my show right now. Go. Get there right now, today, immediately. And you demand that the Chief of Staff, General John Kelly, be fired right now. That is a violation of the First Amendment, that he is engaging in treasonous activity to cause the president not to have the information he needs. So I want you to send me some information as well. And I will be expecting that information. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Here's something else. The alt-left leaders vowed to crush skulls with baseball bats during Patriot prayer rally. Peace through violence? Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars.com, 24th of August, 2017. A self-proclaimed alt-left leader has vowed to use a baseball bat embedded with nails to crush skulls during the Patriot Prayer Peace rally set to take place in San Francisco this weekend. Let me say that again, and let me let me go back and say that again. A self-proclaimed alt-left, quote-unquote, leader has vowed to use a baseball bat embedded with nails to, quote-unquote, crush skulls during a, quote-unquote, Patriot Prayer Peace rally set to take place in San Francisco this weekend. The Twitter user, who goes by the handle of @IBPrinceJordan, tweeted, quote, "The Patriot Prayer Rally is a Nazi white supremacist event. They'll be there to crush some Nazi skulls," unquote. He repeated the threat in a series of other tweets that have now been deleted. Quote, "Can't wait going to bring this nailed bat for some Nazi pounding," unquote, read one. The user is located in San Francisco, which is where the event will take place, at Crissy Field on Saturday, suggesting he does indeed plan to attend the march. What makes the threat even more absurd is that organizers of the Patriot Prayer Rally have specifically said its aim is to, quote, "promote peace, love, and unity," unquote, and that racists are not welcome. The leader of the Patriot Prayer Rally, Joey Gibson, has vehemently denounced neo-Nazis, yelling "F white supremacists" at the recent rally. Even the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, which routinely tars conservatives with a broad brush, does not consider Patriot Prayer to be a hate group, reports Fox News. To the alt-left, that doesn't matter. Anyone to the right of Michael Moore is fair game for violent assault. I mean, seriously, folks. This is why I had to take yesterday off. This stuff just gives me a massive freaking headache sometimes. I don't look forward to taking days off because I want to give you the information that you need. I want to give you what you want to hear, which is the truth backed by facts. Now, let me also say this. I don't have all the facts in front of me. I have stories and articles. I encourage you guys to go out and look this stuff up on your own as well. But when I see stories that I've read days ago and I look at information later on, like the one I said earlier about the information being kept from President Trump, and how all of that was the beginning of the shutdown of information flow, if you will. This stuff just drives me out of my mind. It puts me at a very negative area that I don't want to be in. I don't look forward to take days off, even if it's an impromptu day off. I don't, because I want you to have the information you want to have. But I'm telling you what goes on behind the scenes here, that sometimes I read these articles a night before, or even when I'm reading them to you, as I see them. It just gets to me. It just, I see everything that is happening right now has been talked about 20, 30, 40 years ago. That's as long as I've been researching and investigating and looking into geopolitical situations and subjects of the United States and all of that. And I got to tell you, The culmination of all that information is right in these last, I would even go as far as saying 10 years. Everything that we know, everything that we see right now has been talked about years ago and led up to the 24th of August, 2017. We have to understand what is going on. We have to understand what's going on. I recorded a little something this morning before doing this podcast, and it's just something that is an encouraging, I hope, an encouraging message to all of you, and I'll play that later in the show, but facts are facts, folks. Somebody said there's more facts in the trash tabloid magazines at your checkout line in the stores than there is coming out of the mainstream propaganda media. I'm beginning to believe that. You know, and it's like you have to understand what is actually happening in our world today. Nobody is right. Nobody is wrong. Or let me just reiterate, no one is completely right and no one is completely wrong. But no one has the absolute truth of anything because the facts are misrepresented in the arena of mainstream media. So we have all of that to look at and sift through and say, what is the truth? What is the facts? What can we individually ourselves accept as truth and facts? And if we tell somebody about it, are they going to believe us? And if they don't, then we have to have something behind us to back up what we're saying. But we also have to admit that we're not always right and we're not always wrong, and that the information out there is probably skewed in one direction or the other. That's why I've heard Alex Jones, I've heard Glenn Beck, I've heard Michael Savage, I've heard Rush Limbaugh all say in different ways, go out and do the research on this stuff. I don't have all the answers, and if you're looking for answers, you know, the ones that you're looking for you are the ones that you will find on your own. I can give you guides. I can give you where I went and all this, and you can look at that, and you may go off in a totally different direction than I do, but you are going to know the truth and the facts for you. Okay? And my nose. And also, woke up this morning and my nose is just bugging the crap out of me. And let me also go here. When we look at the information and we're trying to glean the truth and the facts from that, whatever information it is we're looking at, always ask yourself, who is the author of this article, or who is the author of this book, or whatever? Where do they come from? Who are they? What's their background? You know, who do they associate with? Because all of that influences what you're reading, believe it or not. So that's something else to take a look at. I just, when I took yesterday off, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna take a little break. I'm just gonna smile, and, you know, I'm gonna enjoy my day and not have to think about much. Okay. So. And I didn't, and I'm glad, because it gave me, it refreshed my mind in looking at this stuff. It gave me that moment of clarity of looking directly at who these criminals in Washington, D.C. are. And it's just, That's just the way it is. You have to just step back and just look at certain things with a clearer mind, a clearer sense of purpose, and understand what's going on. Related to the article from earlier, the Daily Caller is reporting on the 24th of August 2017, violent leftist group plans to shut down Berkeley march against Marxism. BAM, B-A-M-N, is organizing to shut down what it claims is a neo-Nazi rally in Berkeley on Saturday. 2 weeks after violent clashes in Charlottesville, Virginia, and 1 week after violent protests in Boston, another violent clash is shaping up to take place in Berkeley, California. Violent leftist groups, by any means necessary, is rallying forces to shut down a planned march against Marxism in Berkeley, California. Berkeley has already been the site of repeated instances of political violence this year, predominantly by far-left actors. BAM is organizing to shut down what it claims is a neo-Nazi rally in Berkeley on Saturday. The rally is titled No Marxism in America. The rally organizer, a biological man who identifies himself as transgender woman to media outlets, claims the rally is not a right-wing rally, embraces diversity, and is meant to oppose the spread of Marxism in Berkeley. BAM, by any means necessary, which was founded by an openly Marxist Revolutionary Workers League, has previously been involved in violent clashes in Berkeley and elsewhere. The group's members are unapologetic about their views of violence as a political tactic. Can you say terrorism? Because that's exactly the definition of terrorism. Using violence to make political change. That's terrorism. And these people are dumbasses. That's Marxism, folks. That's one brand of totalitarianism. Okay? That is freaking terrorist activity going to happen in a couple of days in Berkeley, California. But I bet you a penny, nothing, no one who is American, no one who is a patriot is ever going to be there to stop them. And if it becomes a, as I like to use the word, conflagration, if it's going to be hand-to-hand combat down there, if it's going to be a violent action on the part of BAM, then there needs to be military, law enforcement, National Guard, militia, and all the patriots down there to stop them. Now, a lot of people would say, well, then, geez, you're just feeding into the Civil War. No, I'm not. If you're marching or rallying against a known subversive political philosophy, and you want to keep the freedoms and liberties that we have in this country, you'll go down there this Saturday and stop these morons from ever disrupting the other people who have the right to express themselves through their free speech in this rally. What about the other? What about BAM? They have free speech. No, they don't. I'm sorry. Free speech to the average American is saying what you want without repercussions. And if there are consequences to what you say, then obviously you've crossed a line somewhere, right? Okay, let's just set that aside for a second. The free speech that BAM insists on using as a license for violent engagement is not free speech. It's an act of war against those that are protected. Okay? That's what it is. They've already declared that this is what they're going to do. They've made that declaration of war against their fellow Americans in the United States to push their political agenda. to shut down freedom of speech, freedom of expression, because there's a rally against Marxism. You've got Marxists on the other side pushing back against them. That is complete and utter terrorism and a declaration of war. Now, if you go look at all of the little bits and pieces I just shared with you, okay? This is what it is. BAM is a domestic terrorist organization. Their purpose is to make political change through terrorist activity, period. I've said it. There you go. It's on record. Any organization or any single person that says that they want to make political change, but they're going to use violence to make that political change, is a terrorist, period. If you have a group of people, such as your street gangs, your drug cartels in your cities, that are trying to make change in the neighborhood so that they can set up, their organization, that is terrorism, because they're terrorizing the neighborhood to make changes they want. No. That is where we, the people, have to stand up and literally stop them by any means necessary. I mean, that's the bottom line. Well, geez, you're a warmonger. No, I'm not. I don't want war. I don't want civil war. I don't want, anybody to get hurt in anything. But unfortunately, we live in a society that is not only litigious, but we live in a society of massively overinflated ego that pushes the limits of the envelope of free society. And guess what? You get what happened in Boston last week. You get what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia a couple weeks ago. You're going to get the same thing in Berkeley, California if the National Guard is not called out. And you know damn well Governor Brown is not going to call out the National Guard to protect the people in that rally. You know this. He's going to turn his back on this. And if this goes the way that I believe it will, because of the nature of what the rally is and what these opposition forces don't want, a rally against Marxism, then Governor Brown needs to be immediately taken out of office by the Attorney General. And since the Attorney General is in the pocket of the governor, that ain't going to happen. So it is left up to we the people, because it is a constitutional and Declaration of Independence duty for the people to change the way the government is operating. Okay? Sorry. I had to type something there because I want to read you something that is important. And it says right here that whenever a form of government becomes destructive of these ends, which means, let me just read the whole thing. Let me just read this whole, I'm going to go past this bottom of the hour break. I'll take a break here in a minute. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with a certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Period. I am done with these people who want to overthrow the United States of America. I'm done. I'm done with these Antifa people. I'm done with these people that are Bernie Sanders supporters and Hillary supporters. I'm done with them. I'm done. These people are the dumbest pieces of crap on the face of the planet. Now, let me also say this. Do I have friends who are Bernie Sanders supporters? Do I have friends who are Hillary Clinton supporters? Yeah. Are they dumb? No. They're misinformed. Okay? They're misinformed. By what? What happened? The disinformation that is out there from the mainstream propaganda media. Period. End of sentence. Done. But there are some other people out there who follow Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders that are dumber than a box of freaking rocks, and I'm insulting rocks. Okay? It's just amazing how it's amazing how blind these people truly are. Just completely amazing to me. When you absolutely, positively don't want to hear any more bull, listen to American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Yes, folks. This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. I'll be back right after this. The reality underneath the honesty. LiveTruthRadio.com. Check out Late Night in the Midlands with your host Michael Vera at LateNightInTheMidlands.com, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Go to LateNightInTheMidlands.com. The world as we know it has been turned upside down. The leaders are faced with possible annihilation from their enemies. The United States is at the brink of a total collapse. This is the reality we live in. What can be done? The truth, the facts. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Hey folks, how you doing? Yeah, I was off doing something. So anyway, yeah, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com is your website to go to, and it's my website for the network. So yeah, go to it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what's on your mind. You can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. If you want to advertise on the network, hey. It's a win-win situation for both of us. if you so choose to do so. You can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com, go to the sponsors page, and all the information is right there. If you don't want to sponsor, there's a couple of links down there. Become a patron or a PayPal link, and yeah, you can drop $1 in the kitty down there and help me keep the lights on around here. So, thank you very much. Appreciate that. So, anyway, onward and upward to some more stuff. CNN says everyone who voted for Trump is a white supremacist by default. Daily Caller is reporting this. Quote, it's the ordinary people, the voters who elected a reality star with a record of making racially insensitive comments, unquote. That's a bunch of bull, and CNN knows it. CNN used the voices of a few professors and activists to assert anyone who voted for President Donald Trump as a white supremacist in a news report Wednesday, and to blame these quote-unquote ordinary people for the violence in Charlottesville. Trump voters helped advance white supremacy by giving them room to operate, CNN reported, based on the assertions of others in a piece headlined, quote, white supremacists by default. How ordinary people made Charlottesville possible. I'm not even going to read the rest of that because it's, yeah. Two things I want to put out here. I've never seen or heard President Trump say anything racially negative towards anyone. If you have, please let me know, because I've never heard him say anything like that. That's on American Liberty Radio podcast. The other thing is, he's a patriot. Look at what he's done over the years. I mean, I don't really... Bottom line is, I don't care what your opinion is of him. You look at his actions. You look at what he's done. You hear what he said. And don't sit there and make crap up. Okay? You're a freaking moron if you think CNN is the go-to site for all real news. That's a bunch of crap. Okay? It's just a bunch of crapola. That's all it is. Zero Hedge is reporting on the 24th of August, 2017. United Nations issues rare quote-unquote early warning, signals potential civil conflict in America. It's clear that the United States is being purposely divided. Duh! I'll just... And, of course, CNN caught inciting civil war. There you go. More about CNN and their bullcrap station and network. CNN was created by Ted Turner, who sold it off and created something else, TNN or something, I don't know, TNT or something like that. But yeah, he's, there it is. United Nations issues rare early warning. That's on American Liberty Radio podcast. It's evident to me. And when I say it's evident to me, I mean it's right there. I see it. It's right there, man. It's evident to me that there are people out there that really don't care about peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the United States of America. It's evident to me that there are people out there that don't want the Constitution and the Bill of Rights of the United States of America. They would rather go buy the Mein Kampf or the Humanist Manifesto. It's evident to me that there are people out there that absolutely do not freaking care about anything that has to do with America and making it better, making it greater, making it stronger, making it safer. No. It's evident to me that there are people out there like that. Okay? And I'm going to say this. All those people that are like that can bite me. Because you people are going to be in the crosshairs of not only the globalists that are using you to divide this country, but you're going to be in handcuffs by the patriots that support this country. Got it? Because once the globalists are through playing with you and using you for their agenda, you're gone. Okay? They're going to throw you away like yesterday's trash. Okay? So think about that one. And don't even sit there and, oh, no, that's never going to happen because I was promised this and I was promised that. Yeah, right. Yeah. That's like the fox lying to the farmer about guarding the hen house when several of the hens are missing. Oh, no, I didn't see anybody come in and take the hens. Got it? Yeah. You see why I took yesterday off? You see why I took yesterday off? Hey, I'm going to take the next few minutes here and play you what I recorded earlier. So I want you to sit back. It's about 6 minutes and 47 seconds long. So whatever it is you want to, you don't have to listen to it if you don't want to. But I would encourage you to listen to it, please. So here it is. I recorded it this morning. It's my message to you just about seeking the facts.
American
Okay?
Liberty Radio Network.
Hey, this is Wayne Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network. The aspect of American Liberty Radio Network that is there is telling the truth with the facts. Now, of course, yeah, we know. You hear it from this person, from that person. What is fact? What is truth? What is, it's all there and it's all in front of you. And I'm sure you all know what it is. I mean, for you. So the aspect that American Liberty Radio Network has towards what's happening in our country today and in our world is that of truth and facts, or truth backed by facts. Now, what are the facts? Well, it's not so much he said or this person said or that group said or that tabloid said or whatever. It's not so much that. It's the fact that you go into the story, you go into the issue, the subject, and you dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. And you look for who put it out, what it is, and if you can read between the lines and add everything up, and you'll see what the truth is. And you'll see what the facts are as well. At American Liberty Radio Network, this is what I do. I'm the lone person here. There's no one else. I do all the research. I do all of that. I find as much as I can because, and I'll tell you the second part of this, and that is there is so much disinformation out there. There's so much disinformation out there that there's a misinformed public. And so therefore, where do you find the truth and facts? Is what you find all out lies and it's just fabricated information? Is it just, what is it? So that's what American Liberty Radio does. I seek and other people give me information. So when I say we, that's pretty much what I mean. American Liberty Radio Network digs and digs and digs. And if we find the story false, if we find the story was made up, or if there's situations or circumstances that are false flag events, like, the Charlottesville, Virginia incident, weeks ago, a week ago or so, this whole thing, what I call political theater is just that, theater. It's all made up. It's all fake. It's all phony. It's all completely fabricated by someone behind the scenes, by someone who wrote the script for the newscasters on your local, your local stations. And therefore, we don't know. The general public does not know the truth and facts because they're going to tell you certain things. They're going to misinform you about certain things. They're going to lie and do all that and make everybody in the story that they're, broadcasting about look very small, look very insignificant, and they're going to look as the bigger player in this field of, journalism. But in reality, the script that they read off of that teleprompter in front of them is written for them by people from Media Matters and, MoveOn.org and places like that, all funded by one particular person, Mr. George Soros, the billionaire hedge fund investor. I guess that's what he still does. I don't know, but that's George Soros. As a young man, he was a Nazi sympathizer. He worked with the German army and all of them to do what he did. Now, we should not judge a man on his past, should we? Yeah, we should. Because that will tell you the character of the person doing whatever it is they're doing. This is something that is important. And it really drives home my point. All of this stuff that is out there is created to cause division in America. And if we don't understand that, we're going to fall into the trap of the disinformation that they're using to misinform the general public so that we will go in the wrong direction. And if people can't understand that, then I don't know what else to say. I really don't. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you and help you understand what's going on. So in that whole thought process that you have right now, think about what is actually happening. Don't look at the mainstream propaganda media. Don't look at anything else other than what you can see and what you can investigate and what you can research to be the truth and the facts that you want to hear, to see, and to be in your life. Thank you very much. You can contact me at American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Go to the website at AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS. This is American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. When you absolutely, positively don't want to hear any more bull, listen to American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Hey folks, this is American Liberty Radio Network on Spreaker.com. If you want to host a show or have ideas for podcasts or whatever, go to Spreaker.com for more information and host your show there. Big news about Spreaker and Blog Talk Radio. They're merging. I had a feeling that was going to happen at some point. I just didn't know when. So let's hope things do not change much on this side of the aisle because, it's affordable, okay? Spreaker has affordable packages for you, and if you want to check out their plans, go to Spreaker.com, check it out, and have all the fun you need hosting your show or uploading podcast. So there you go. Things are changing all over the world, and just when you look at stuff, it's complete insanity. Yeah, look at it, examine it. It's complete insanity, folks. There's a poll out, 61% of Reddit socialists, Reddit.com, 61% of Reddit socialists live with their parents. 48% are unemployed. Just 14% support free speech. These are Reddit socialists. Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars.com, 24th of August, 2017. A survey of users of Reddit's Our Socialism board has found that 61% of respondents live with their parents, 48% are unemployed, and just 14% support free speech. The results of the poll confirm many of the stereotypes attached to modern-day progressives, that's in quotes, that they are largely dependent on others and have total disregard for bedrock freedoms and the rule of law. With a paltry 14% supporting completely unrestricted free speech, 46% support quote-unquote violent protest, otherwise known as rioting. The survey also found that 69% of the respondents are uneducated. I'm going to leave that right there, folks, because I'm putting that on American Liberty Radio Podcast and let you assess it and draw your own conclusions on it and go from there. I told you, and many have told you, Brian Lang, Nick Tucker have both told you many, many times that these people are uneducated, useless, just completely useful idiots, if you will, for the globalists. Okay? That's what they are. All right? Now, there's another poll out. MSM's, mainstream media's, mass hysteria narrative is failing. There's a poll out. Vast majority of Americans support free speech over political correctness. Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars.com, 24th August 2017. A new Rasmussen poll. Rasmussen. Is that right? Rasmussen? I don't know. There's a poll out that has found that the vast majority of Americans support free speech over political correctness, and just 8% think ensuring people aren't, quote-unquote, offended is more important than the First Amendment. 85% of the respondents agreed, quote, giving people the right to free speech is more important than making sure no one is offended by what others say, unquote. 73% of Americans agree with French author Voltaire's statement of, quote, I've disapproved of what you say, but will defend to the death your right to say it, unquote, with just 10% in disagreement. Respondents saw free speech as more important than any other basic constitutional right, but just 28% of Americans think that they have true freedom of speech, citing political correctness as the reason for this erosion. The results show no real change from a similar poll undertaken over 3 years ago, suggesting the events in Charlottesville and the controversy over the removal of Confederate statues has had little impact on public opinion. The survey results fly in the face of the mainstream media's recent narrative that has endorsed so-called, quote-unquote, anti-fascist groups who wish to use violence to shut down free speech. Major left-wing newspapers like The Guardian and The Washington Post have also called for free speech to be censored in the name of political correctness in recent days. The Rasmussen survey results correlate with a Reuters Ipsos opinion poll, which found that just 27% of Americans believe Confederate statues, quote, should be removed from all public spaces, unquote. A third of the people surveyed. The numbers make it abundantly clear that no matter how hard the media and the political class attempt to silence free speech by contriving a fake moral panic and mass hysteria, Americans are unified in their belief that the First Amendment shall not be infringed. That's going on American Liberty Radio Podcast. And let me say something else about free speech. And I said it before, but let me just simplify it for you, and that is, these left-wing groups are using the First Amendment as license for propagating their fake news and their actions and engagement in dividing this country. That is not free speech. I said it before, I'll say it again. These groups that do this are nothing less and equal to domestic terrorists, including aligning themselves in philosophy only, if it were, to those same leftist terrorist organizations like ISIS and the Taliban and Al Qaeda, whatever name they're using this century or this, decade. These domestic terrorists need to be literally pushed aside. However you want to do that. This is why I call on everybody in California to go to every patriot, every former military, every law enforcement officer, every National Guard, every member of the California militia to go to Berkeley to push back and to defend the patriots at this prayer rally, Patriot prayer rally in Berkeley, California, to push back against the Marxists and all these domestic terrorists that are going to try to divide this country and use this as the premise for that division. I call on you now to do this, period. I say period because that's it, period, done. You need to do this. It's incredible to me, and I, this is my own perspective here. It's incredible to me that people would even rally around the domestic terrorists such as BAM. Go look at my article. Go look at the article on American Liberty Radio podcast about it. Just look at this. Look at what is happening in the country. Just examine what is going on there. And then you ask me how sane these people truly are. The people want to rally against Marxism. This is what the prayer rally there is. The Patriot prayer rally. This is what going against Marxism, going against that philosophy of division and tyranny. This is what they're doing. And they're not violent people, from what I could tell. They're not violent people. But violence is going to be used against them to stop them. So guess what? What's the only option the people of California, the Patriots, law enforcement, militia, and National Guard have against these Marxists that are marching against and rallying against those who are against Marxism? Yeah, it's kind of a little confusing, but what's the only option? The defense of free speech, the defense of people who are going to be violently engaged with these Marxists that are out there that are going, this one self-proclaimed leader of the group is going to go out there with a baseball bat full of nails and beat some heads of what he says white supremacists? No. Who's the white supremacist now? Who's the violent domestic terrorist now? Yeah. There's only one option in that whole thing. One option in that whole thing in Berkeley this Saturday. You better go and take care of the patriots of this country and protect those who want to rally against Marxism. This is something that's happening. And yeah, it's out there. It's out there. I gotta go, folks. Do you see why now I took the day off yesterday? Do you see why? Seriously. Yeah. I'm going to go away now. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com is the website. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com is the email address. This is American Liberty Radio Network on Spreaker.com, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.